again, everybody. It's Cathy, and we are going on to Yoga Foundations Basics Video 4. So I'm hoping you're picking up the idea of why I want you to focus from the foundation up. For most of you in your sport, as you know, it's your hands and your feet that are super important. And in these videos, we are working a lot with working from the hands, working from the feet, and then into the postures. So what I want you to think about this time is not thinking so much. Try to really master slowing down and becoming very still and quiet. And when I say that, I mean it more internally, not so much the physical side. Move through the poses and the postures I'm going to show you, but make sure to find that stillness in your mind and let that stillness carry you through. So slow everything down and be very present in your practice, and then hopefully you can carry that into your day, because that's what yoga is all about, taking from the mat what you're doing and experiencing and carrying it into your life and all the things that you do. So let's get started. Have 2 blocks if you can, and if you don't have any blocks, that's okay, but at this point you maybe have a couple books or a nice thick book that you use. Otherwise, you don't need any props at all. Let's get started. Coming onto your back. So just start by centering yourself on your mat and bringing your knees in, giving them a hug, and just first start rocking from side to side. And just feel the low back on the mat. You can close your eyes if you like, let your shoulder blades relax. You can circle your knees, so just start to circle in one direction. And then circle in the other direction. And again, just rock from side to side. And then bring your knees back to center. And just hold your knees in, allowing your shoulders to just melt. And then just relax your feet. Close your eyes. And let's find the breath now. So just take a few natural breaths. No forcing. Just starting to bring that awareness to your natural breathing pattern. And notice right away, just by focusing on each inhale and exhale, how you actually just start to relax without any forcing. It just allows you to relax when you bring your mind and your thoughts to one thing. And breath is one of the most important ways to do this. Now start to deepen the inhale. And as you do this, feel the mid-back widening on your mat. The rib cage expanding. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage contract. The belly, low belly, gently draw in. The rib cage expands wide in all directions as you inhale. Belly gently draws in on that exhale. Rib cage very naturally contracts, funneling inward and downward. Make sure you're not tensing those shoulders. Relax the low jaw, neck. Now interlock your fingers and just wrap your hands around the back of your head until your elbows are just floating off the floor. And now take your knees and move them so they're directly above your hips. Knees are together, and I want you to hug the inner thighs like we've been doing. Draw the belly gently in. Chin slightly to your chest. It's a very gentle movement, very small. And then lift your head up. Now here, let the weight of your head rest in your hands. So don't use your neck here. And then come up a little higher. And then roll back halfway. And then let's do a few crunches here, what you would call crunches, I guess. And then halfway. Just a very small movement, coming up and down like you're curling your upper spine off the mat. Head is heavy. Inner thighs are squeezing. It's a slow movement. Use the breath. Just allow the breath to come in and out. You don't have to follow the breath with the movement. Now, just as you notice as you're doing this, I just want you to make sure your low back is not popping off the mat. If there's a little hover under your low back, that's fine, but when you let your upper back go towards the floor, don't let your low back arch. Keep your abdominal muscles activated. Let's do about 5 more. Let that head be heavy. Watch you're not moving your neck around. This is a rolling up and down of the thoracic spine. The head and the neck just follow that movement. Squeeze those inner thighs. That helps to really activate and engage your pelvic floor. And then on your next exhale, lower your head down. Keep your hands where they're at. Open the elbows till they touch the floor. And then take your feet down onto the mat. If you can't reach your elbows flat on the floor, that's fine. Otherwise, just get a nice stretch there with your elbows on the floor. And then let your knees fall to the right. Try and keep your elbows down. And then over to the left. Just a gentle movement, moving the knees side to side. So remember, we're slowing down here. We're finding a stillness in our mind. By keeping the focus on your breath and just on the feelings that are starting to happen in your body and your muscles. Really starting to think about where you're feeling maybe some tightness or anything going on in your body. Let your knees come back to the center. Release your hands, put your hands underneath your knees, and let's rock and roll a few times up and down the mat. Try not to move onto your neck here, just to your upper shoulders. Very nice, it's kind of fun. Don't swing your legs too much. One more time. Cross your legs. And then we're going to come onto hands and knees. So just flip over here. Make sure your blocks are close by. And then with yourself, your knees hip distance apart in about the center of your mat. Bring your arms straight out in front of you. Palms, shoulder distance apart. Remember that outer edge of your hand lines out with the outer edge of your shoulder. Spread out your fingers, spread them wide, get that index finger mound nice and firm, wrap the upper arm bones in, and then come up onto all fours, and let's take that right into a cat stretch. Your knees are directly under your hips. Inhale, arch the spine, look forward or up, or you can close your eyes here, that's a nice option. Exhale, curl the tail under you, push away from your hands. Follow your back breath and just take a few of these cat-cows. Slowing down movements, slowing down the mind. not only do I want you to just notice when your mind's getting really active, and then just notice, and then find those little spaces between any thoughts. And that will take you back to a very present and still moments. Very nice. One more inhale up, exhale, rounding the spine. And then take your bum back to your heels. This time I want you to keep your hands just where they're at, spreading into all the finger joints and the thumb joint, but I want you to lift the wrist off the mat. So there's a little space, like there's a little thumbtack under your wrists. Come back onto your hands. Those wrists are lifted. Tuck your toes under. And let's take this into a down dog. Now, before you place your wrists back on the mat, really feel that weight in your finger joints. Equal across your index finger to your baby finger and your thumb mount. Your knees are bent here, guys. And then allow the heel of your hand to come to the mat, so your wrist. And feel how you're a little lighter on your wrist and the weight is really distributed through the finger joints and the pad of your finger joints. And then straighten out your legs, looking down towards your feet. Your feet are hip distance apart. Your heels are directly behind your ankles, so you're not seeing them. Very nice. Make sure your knees aren't buckling in. Take a breath or two here. Just get that first down dog stretch. And then bend your knees and walk or step up to your hands. Feet hip distance apart. Lengthen halfway up. You can use your blocks here, guys. Exhale in, fold forward. Bend your knees a little bit. Find your feet on the mat. Hands on your hips. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, arms by your sides. Take a moment. Close your eyes here. Tadasana Pose. Feet are hip distance apart. If you need to open your eyes to find this, that's fine. Otherwise, just close your eyes. Spread the feet out on the mat. Find that little thumbtack under the arches. Very nice. The knees are soft. Muscles in the legs lifting. Shoulders stacked above the hips. Ears stacked above the shoulders. Softly allow the eyes to flutter open and inhale, reach the arms forward. Arms come straight up to your ears, stretch. Exhale, bend those knees, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up, take a breath in. Exhale, take that left foot, big step, back of the mat. Take that back knee down. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, come forward. Spread the hands out, step back, plank. Inhale, hold here. Exhale, lower the knees if you need to. Lower the chest, come down. Inhale, curl the chest off the mat. Exhaling, tuck your toes, back up into a plank and into down dog. Inhale, gazing forward, step, walk or hop forward, halfway up, take a breath. Exhale as you fold, take that right foot, big step back, right knee down. Hug those inner thighs, guys. Inhale, arms float up to your ears, gentle back bend is nice. Exhale, fold, place the hands, be very deliberate here. Step back to your plank and lower it down. Elbows are close to the body if you're not using your knees. Inhale as you release your toes, halfway up. Exhale, curl the toes under, down dog. Let's take about 5 breaths here. Awareness back to the breathing. Calm the mind, still the mind. Notice those little spaces between thoughts. Very nice, guys. Look forward, step, hop, or walk forward, halfway up, take a breath in. Very nice. Exhale, take that left foot and another big step to the back of your mat. We're going into warrior two. So line the front heel up with the arch of the back foot, and then using the feet, inhale, sweep the arms up. Wrap that right inner thigh up and around. Tuck that right tailbone under you. Lengthen through that back leg. So you're using your feet here. Breathing. Reach the arms out here. And then roll the shoulders back so your palms are facing the ceiling. Drop those shoulders down. And then once you feel the shoulders nice and wide, turn your palms down, but keep the shoulders where they're at. Now turn the palms out to the walls beside you. Spread your fingers. Very nice. Arms come around. Take your fingers back to the floor and then release that left knee down to the mat. Walk the right foot towards the side of your mat, just a few inches over. If you need a block here, grab a block. If you don't, that's fine. Walk your hands forward, send your tailbone back. We want to go into this stretch with a nice long spine, so you might stay here. You might just have your hands on a block. You might be able to bring your elbows down to the block or the floor. And breathe. Now hug that right knee in. Don't let it flop out too much right yet. And then stretch. Relax your neck. Focus on your breathing. There's lots of different names to these different exercises. Some people call this dragon. Other people call it other things. And breathe. Hug the right knee in slightly. And then keeping that right foot dorsiflex, just drop the knee open. So the right ankle joint is flexed. See if you can get a little longer through your spine, just changing that stretch ever so slightly. Take your hands back to the mat. Move your block out of the way. Bring your right foot back to the floor and lift your back knee. Now just for a little fun, I want you to tuck that right knee right onto your right tricep and then lift the right foot off the mat for 3, 2, 1. Step it back to a down dog. A little bit of core work there. Exhaling your down dog, and then with your next inhale, step walk or hop those feet, top of the mat, halfway up, take a breath in. Take the right foot and a big step to the back of your mat, moving into warrior two. Turn the heel to the floor. Watch that your left heel, front heel, is lined directly up with that back arch, and then circle the arms around. Nice, bend the left knee, front knee, right on top of the heel. Watch your knees not falling in here. Really use the left inner thigh. Roll it around the thigh and then tuck that left sit bone underneath you. Arms are wide, palms facing up to start. Just drop your shoulders down and then turn the palms down. Keep reaching. Make sure you're not leaning forward here, guys. We're directly above our hips, our spine is. And then turn your palms out. Press as if you're pushing your hands against the walls. So be really strong through your arms here. Go a little bit deeper. Circle the arms around. Palms come up to the front of your mat. Bring your right knee down to the floor. Walk your left foot a little wider. So now hands are on the inside of your left foot. Use your block if you like here, guys. Lengthen your spine forward. You might walk your hands out here. As you can see, I cannot bring my elbows to the floor here. I have to use a block. If you don't, that's awesome. Bring your elbows right down. Hug that left knee in towards your body. Lengthen the spine so you're not rounding with that back here. You're long through your spine. If you have to stay a little higher to get that long straight back, then stay a little higher. Reach the tailbone away from the crown of your head. Breathe. Slow the mind down. And then just roll onto the outer edge of that left foot. Drop the left knee open. Go a little deeper if you can. Make sure your left ankle joint is flexed to protect your ankle here. And you're going to come up onto your palms. You're going to lift that right knee off the mat. You're going to tuck that left knee right up onto your left tricep. Lift your left foot off the mat for 3, 2, 1. Step it back. Down dog. Big breath in. Big exhale out the mouth. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Come up onto your toes, guys. Step, walk, or hop your feet, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees slightly. Anchor those feet into the mat as you bring yourself to standing, hands on your hips. So your legs are doing all the work here. Very effortlessly. Come up, and then exhale, arms to your sides. Nice. I'm just going to turn to face you, but you don't have to as long as you can see me. So you're standing at the top of your mat. Bring your feet together. Very nice. And then I want you to take your arms out to the sides. Turn the palms up. Drop those shoulders down. And then bend your knees a little bit here. We're going to prepare in standing for side bends. So I want you to bend your knees a little bit. Hug the inner thighs. Bring the inner thighs back slightly. So almost feel like they're wrapping around the back of your legs. And then as you do that, tuck the tailbone down. It's kind of a weird, awkward little movement. So knees bend. Let the inner thighs roll back. Tuck the tail slightly. Anchor those feet. And then straighten the legs without losing that intention of that inner thigh connection. Your arms are out, your palms are up, your shoulders relax down. Now turn just your palms down. And then turn the palms out again so they're facing the side wall. Nice. I want you to lean to the right. Stretch. Keep those inner thigh in tension and then lean over to the left and stretch. Nice. Keep the shoulders down. Belly is drawn in. Inner thigh connection. Even if your thighs aren't touching right now, that's fine. But if they do, that's great. And just stretch from side to side. You can move your hips a little with this movement. Come back to center, arms to your sides. We're going to find a side plank, just like that. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up, heel toe the feet, hip distance apart. And then place your palms and step that back into a down dog. Very nice. Now I want you to walk your feet together. And then take your weight up onto your left hand. Anchor down through your left fingers, finger mounds, thumb mounds, just like we always talk about. Bend your knees a little bit, hug those inner thighs, and then roll onto the outer edge of that left foot. Now if that's too much, place the right foot on the mat in front of your left foot. If you can stack your feet, keep them stacked. Here, I don't want you to sag down through your hips, so really hug that left side of the body, squeeze the legs, and then reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Breathe. Nice and strong through the legs. As you can see, if you're looking at the video, I have one foot in front of the other. That's just a nice option. Come back into a down dog. Exhale. Take a moment here. Very nice. Bring your weight onto the right hand. So spread the fingers, look down at the hand, make sure you're really digging those fingers in. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Find the inner thighs nice and squeezing. Lift up through the thighs. Remember, you can place the top foot in front of the bottom foot if needed. And then raise that left arm up. Breathe here, guys. Nice and strong, lots of core. Exhale, back into down dog. Take a breath in. Exhale, blow it out. We're going to do one more side plank, but we're going to start it at the top of the mat. So step, walk, or hop up. Inhale halfway. Exhale and fold. Very nice. Inhale, bring yourself up into standing. And let's just go right back and fold forward again. Halfway up, take a breath in. Nice. Place your palms. Take that back into a down dog. Very good. Moving into another side plank here, just a little bit different. Maybe easier for some of you. Take your left hand nice and firm on the mat. Look at it. Step your right foot halfway up the mat as you start to turn onto the outer edge of your left foot and then the outer edge of your right foot. Lift those hips up. So really make sure you're not sagging down through the left side of your body. Now you can be directly flat on your right foot, or make sure you're flexing that right ankle joint and roll that hip open. Roll onto the outer edge of the right foot, just an option here. Very nice. Take your palm back to the floor, back into a down dog. We're just going to take this right to the other side. So bring your weight onto your right hand. As you roll over onto the right foot, step the left foot halfway up the mat. Either foot flat on the floor or roll to the outer edge of that left foot as you open your chest up towards the ceiling. Breathe. You're not sinking down into that right side, guys. You're lifting. The legs are really strong here. Both your buttocks muscles working. All your buttocks muscles working, sorry. And then take that back and into a down dog. Big breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Shift your hips left and shift your hips right. Do this a few times. Shift your hips left, rolling onto the outer edges of your feet and right. Stretch out the sides, bodies. And breathe. One more time, both sides. Very nice. Come back to center. And then look forward, step, walk, or hop. Halfway up your mat. Feet as wide as your mat. And then bend your knees. Take your palms into a prayer. And take your elbows onto the inside of your knees. And hug your knees to your elbows as you press your elbows into your knees. Hold here and breathe. Now try not to sink down into your tailbone. Almost feel the lifting up through your pelvic floor. Lengthening tall through your chest. You're pushing your elbows to knees, knees to elbows. Neck long. Close your eyes for a moment. So really feel that strength of the inner thighs. Very nice. Take your hands to the floor. Start to straighten your legs as you walk your feet in just slightly. Very nice. And then bend your knees again. And this time, I want you to bring your palms. We're going into a frog. Some of you know this guy. Palms out in front of you. Shoulder distance apart. Remember all those specifics about our hands, because this is where we're going to use them. We're going to balance right up onto our elbows eventually. So get your fingertips onto the mat. Get the finger joints down onto the mat. Make sure you anchor into the index finger, thumb down. So all the fingers are down first, and then bring the heel of the hand down, so the wrist. Come up onto your toes and let your knees rest onto your triceps as high as you can get them. If you can only get them on your elbows, that's just fine. Find a point on the floor. Focus at that point and see if you can just start lifting one foot off the floor at a time. Some of you might already got this one and you can go all the way up, so just get there, hold it. Really feel a lifting up, and if you're really good at this one, try and straighten your arms and really squeeze the inner thighs to your elbows as you're up there. Otherwise, for those of you who aren't, play with one foot off, then the other foot off, breathing. And then slowly come down. Just bend your knees. Let's go into a forward fold. Grab your elbows from the outside and just swing a little side to side here. Very nice, guys. From here, let's just walk it back to a down dog. And then take your knees onto the mat. Take your forehead to the mat. Arms down to your sides. And just take a moment. Notice everything going on in your body. And then gently start to roll up, and we're going to swing our legs around here. Coming up to the center of your mat. Feet on the mat, knees and inner thighs hugging in, sitting nice and tall right above your sits bones. You can have your hands underneath your thighs, your shoulders down. And then just gently tip back off your sit bones and onto your tailbone. And as you do this, feel the abdominal muscles, the lower pit of your belly draw in. If you can, keep those knees hugging together. If not, knees hip distance apart is fine. Let's see if you can release your hands. Reaching your fingers to your toes. Keep a nice, long, tall spine. If you're starting to round here, then just use your hands under your knees. Very nice. If you got that, straighten out your legs. Toes just a little higher than your forehead. Reach your arms. Breathing. Inner thigh squeezing. Everything working here. Shoulders are relaxed. Take your feet down to the mat. Drop your knees open. Hands wrap gently around your feet. Fold forward. Pull the belly in. Roll yourself up. Your knees come back up. And then gently roll yourself down onto your mat. Take your arms to your sides. Flop your knees open, feet together. One hand on your belly, one hand on your rib cage. Getting very still in your body. And again, find that stillness in your mind. Don't even focus on your breath now. Just allow your mind to stay still. You can stay here or just let the arms flop down to the sides. Straighten out your legs. Give your legs a little shake if needed. Turn your head side to side if needed. And continuing on into Shavasana. So if you find you feel like just falling asleep, That's fine, but ideally, you want to find a place of complete stillness and quiet, but a feeling of alertness in Shavasana. So you're very, very relaxed in your body, in your mind. But you're very alert and aware of all of your senses, yet still you feel relaxed. Now allow your awareness to come back to your breathing. Take a little deeper inhale and exhale. As you start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and your head comes side to side. Give your knees a hug. Again, just rock out your back from side to side. And then with your knees in the center, let your chin come closer to your chest as you roll your head off the floor and tuck yourself into a nice little ball. Wrap your arms around your legs. You might even hold your elbows. Tuck your head up between your knees. Get really nice and tiny and small here. Shoulders soft. Squeezing all those internal organs. And then as you release, roll over to your right side. Tuck your head onto your arm. And just enjoy a nice fetal position. A few more moments. Keep your eyes closed as you walk yourself up into sitting. And hopefully you found a little more stillness in your mind during your practice. At least a little more than when you started the class. See if you can carry that throughout the rest of your day. Or if you're going to sleep, then allow yourself to sleep with that beautiful sense of stillness and quiet in your mind. Thank you very much. Namaste.